doesn't really have over.
What's up,
We
everybody?
needed-
This is the poker coaching study session. Today we're looking at the 3-bet pot. It's gonna be under the gun open, button 3-bets, and then under the gun call. Let's look at ranges. So this is gonna be the buttons 3-betting range versus under the gun. We're gonna play 40 big blind effective. Don't forget that 6-5 suited 10% of the time, or that king 7 suited. I can't remember the last time I 3-bet under the gun with Jack 8 suited. Or Queen 8. That's a little bit spicy, suited 8s and suited 9s. All right.
They're probably bottom of our range though, right? And
Yeah,
we've got
definitely.
position.
Definitely. All right.
That's true.
You're supposed to because it falls under their offsuit tens,
Yeah.
right? And offsuit jacks.
Yeah. And then this is the under the guns defense range. So
Yeah, our 3-bet folds out their ace 10 and their king jack and all of those hands. It's really good.
yeah,
They don't have under pairs, so they're not gonna check raise, I don't think. So like, you could probably get away with a bet here and maybe clean up some equity.
And they also
we don't have a.
they also don't have aces and kings here, so our tens are in better position.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, we'll have some checks, I think, but I would be happy to bet.
Yeah, we probably check more with the 10 of spades, right? I guess if we were checking more.
Alright, so I think the overall strategy for the button is gonna be very simple. Looks like we're betting more than 75% of the time using the small size. But look at this here on Jack 10 Broadway board, something is going on.
Hmm.
Alright, and then let's quickly look at the report. Abrir.
I guess we bet just for protection as well, right? Because we don't want to see any overcards to the 10s, right?
We need some protection. We can get some value probably still.
I think it's
From
a
worse
range
hands.
bet thing here. We just 3-bet and we see bet small. For this scenario, it seems to be the case.
Okay.
I think we can check.
So what does it say here? Oh my goodness, this is not the file I want. What about this report, please? Accept that.
Did you say you think it'd be checking more, Vince?
I think we can check here. It's not mandatory to see bet.
No. Do you think that we should check more with the stack to pot ratio anyway in these spots? Because obviously, if he jams, we don't like it anyway.
I mean, I feel like most of our range connects fairly well with queen eye flop as well, so I think we can bet.
Right, so
Close-
we're gonna
close
bet
range
small 76% of the time. And then out of curiosity, the bigger bet size we got to use was like, okay, so this is EV, I wanna get rid of it. And this one is EV, I wanna get rid of it. Right, so 120, 180, and let's see overall, which one is the one we use the most? Oh, it's gonna be an all-in. Either we bet small or we rip. And then let's
Right.
see the kind of boards that we just go all in on. All right, so now we can have a quick look. So bet 372 frequency. How do we do it 35% of the time here? So let's say anything above 20% is a really, really high frequency. So it's gonna be these. And copy, paste. So on these kind of board, we just open rip. It seems to be always Jack 10 something, Queen 10 something. So Jack 10 something, we open rip. And then let's look, Jack 10 7 rainbow. So here, Jack 10, 7, rainbow. What kind of hands do we open rip with? What do you do with ace king on jack 10 8? You just
Out of position?
no in
So-
position.
In position, okay.
I think the ace king was a jam. We had a scenario like this the other week, Louis, didn't we? On these 10 jack broadways, we were jamming ace king, weren't we?
Yeah, the other week it was a very similar spot. It was under the gun versus big blind we looked at.
Yeah.
Looks like we see the same pattern here.
Yeah, it didn't like queens so much last time, did it? There isn't many queens here. It's mostly 10s and jacks.
Yep,
It's almost identical, isn't it?
yep. Let's see if we're lucky. Josh is gonna be around today. Ah,
That's gonna put all of his small pairs in a bad spot.
Yeah.
then we're looking at
And
under.
we got so many outs with ace king as well, haven't we? Providing he hasn't flopped a monster.
What have I done? And then float file, out of
But he should-
position.
Do you think that he's likely to have 10s or jacks there though? He probably shouldn't, right? He probably should have shipped them already with 40 bigs, right?
He mixes jacks.
Does it have to do with his sets?
He can't have sets of 10s or jacks, can he? Surely not.
Oh,
Or
he
do you
can.
think he can?
He definitely can.
But
And-
surely on 40 bigs, he would 4-bet all in with those hands, wouldn't he?
No, he's calling jacks pure.
Right.
Right, so
Alright.
jack 10 with a flush draw,
It's a
jack
little bit
10 with
different.
an extra type of spot. Extra equity with the jack 10, either an 8 or a 9 or a flush draw. Alright. So 40 big blind under the gun versus button 3-bet. So in position. Likes. Yep,
So poker coaching
Jack ten.
range is jacks, 4-bet jam, 55%-ish. Queens mix too, but they're jamming like close to 70%, a little over 70%.
They're
There's even
jamming a
some-
lot.
There's even some calling with aces on poker coaching from under the gun. It's like 15-20% cold calls with aces.
okay,
Does it jam kings pretty much most of the time?
Full frequency is jamming kings.
Right.
so it looks like we don't really open rip on other textures and we don't have like jack 10 type of boards on other spots. It's really these here. There's like 10, 9, 8 here, queen 10, 8. Right, so it's really gonna be jack 10 type of boards. So I guess we range bet here small.
Yeah, so and the new pile ranges you have are more like poker coaching than the range that I see that you ran this like a year ago. So the ranges are a little bit different now.
Yep,
But I mean, it's
Because
not a
because
huge-
the under the gun player is going to have lots of overcards, our tens want to bet to get protection here, even though tens would often want to check here. But against the strong range, we don't want a turn card peeling off.
What are you doing with pocket jacks?
Pocket jacks might be the only one you check. Yeah, you're
Aren't
betting
we
your
worried about
tens
that
and your
queen,
eights.
though? I mean, he should have a lot of queens under the gun.
Yeah, he should have a few. Queen's meant to be one of the
Mhm.
worst cards for us, isn't it? In
It
general.
is. That's what I'm
Well,
saying. So I sure wouldn't want to rip with tens because of that
range-
queen out there.
Our range continues pretty good on the Broadway flops though. Like if there's a single Broadway, we can have a lot of stuff that it's gonna pick up equity on turns.
Okay,
Yeah,
when
Just
we,
a small bet.
when we bet, it's also just the small size.
I see.
Yeah, this one wasn't a rip. It was just a small bet.
Okay.
Does want to bet for protection to prevent a king or an ace from rolling
Sure.
up.
Yeah, Yeah,
Why
but
are we-
you were talking about ripping at the beginning of the conversation, and I thought, wow.
Go all in.
Why are we checking? Why are we checking jacks more though?
Because it's directly under the queen.
Yeah.
Right.
It has the most showdown against all the other under pairs because the under the gun player still has pocket threes and pocket twos there, and jacks need less protection than tens and nines and eights do.
Jacks were still betting quite a bit, weren't they? I couldn't see it clearly, but.
I think it was a pure check, wasn't it?
Oh,
Yeah,
was it?
jacks were the only pair that was a pure check.
Okay, I didn't notice that.
Okay, so out of position is checking 95%.
So.
When you said, Vince, you've mentioned twos or threes, but surely he's not opening with twos or threes under the gun, right?
Oh, he is.
Yeah, not full frequency, but he'll have them.
Yeah.
So.
Must be quite a low frequency. I know obviously we're on six-handed here. It must be, but it must be quite low frequency, surely.
I would fold this.
I'm always calling. We have a pair and we have a spade.
You're gonna have a 3 high flush draw on a 4-liner if you get there.
Good enough.
No, I think it's a call.
Definitely.
I'm not.
Yeah, it's a call. I don't
I
like it. I
get
agree with
jammed
you,
up
Ken.
protecting these, backdoor these flushes like this on 4-liners with the
Yeah.
shit flush because they just have a better one so often.
No,
And we could be
that's
dead
just your
already.
perception, Ken. That's
when
a
it
really
comes-
bad way to see it. I played
you
this
can
spot a
fold.
lot, and what's gonna happen if the flush comes in, it's gonna go check, check, because he's not gonna bet. It's a scary card for him when the flush comes. So.
I'm in
I
this
think-
spot a lot too, and
check
I've been
a lot,
getting
and then-
owned. I've been getting owned by better flushes, so I don't like it that much.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
select-
with you.
With these
select-
really
I don't love
small,
it.
with the really small pairs that need the flush to win, I don't really like it that much. And
I know we're supposed to call because obviously it's a small bet and this is MDF, but I do agree with Ken as well that it is a horrible spot.
And another reason why the solver calls is because the solver that we're playing against is gonna have bluffs on 4-liners where population isn't.
Don't share your
Yeah.
bias too much, guys, okay? This is a spot where you could play better, alright? We have a
I
pair.
agree.
We don't
I
fold
agree,
pairs
Lou.
on monotone boards. If we had a pair of trees without the card of the suit, I'm guessing we need to call. Because usually on monotone boards, you don't get to fold a pair. In general, let's see. It is folding without this, the card of the suit. Anyhow, like, we don't really fold a pair here. Like, look at, yeah, sevens are folding.
So it likes the card of the suit, Louis, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. So whatever, like, you can't really fold here, simple as that. Because.
Not to a
But see-
small bet.
You're missing my point is that the solver is going to bluff 4-liners on the river at some frequency. And whatever that frequency is, it's gonna be much more than the population we're playing against.
Yeah, but.
So it doesn't make it as valuable to continue with the lowest pairs that need the flush to win.
I disagree with you because, like, no, they might bluff or they might not bluff. That's up to me there. But we
Yeah,
still
this
have
is-
showdown
this-
for the times it goes check, check.
Yeah, this is GTO. The call is GTO, isn't it? So we are
Absolutely.
supposed to call.
I mean, I totally get it. This is something I used to do that I'm getting away from now with my worst pairs
Yeah.
that are probably already behind and need the flush to win.
Yeah, I don't think it's a great adjustment is what I'm saying.
The other factor is when we have the spade, we're blocking some of the flushes.
I think we
Yeah.
can just fold that.
Yeah, right, from coming in, but like the 3, he doesn't have any 3s in his range,
Do
so.
we need to call here or after
No, I-
barrels?
I
you're
think it's a
probably
fold
getting-
now.
You're probably
Yeah, I
getting,
think it's a fold now.
what's the price? I mean, I would fold, but I wonder what the price is.
That
Think
is
about-
quite cheap.
Think about the nature of the turn.
Yeah.
Is it good for us or is it bad for us?
It's not good.
In a 3-bet pot, what's the worst card in a 3-bet pot?
An ace.
I believe it's the king.
I mean, we do have a lot of aces on our range still that can
Yeah.
defend. Like, we don't have to defend this.
I believe it's the king because we never just flat call with ace king and we never flat call with pocket kings. Whereas in terms of aces, we have a few here. So for me in 3-bet pot, the number one worst card is the king. And then the second worst card is the ace.
Yeah. I think it's probably a fold now. He-
Yeah.
So what's the third? Is it a queen? Or is it what's the third worst card?
I'd say,
Can you open that up in the browser?
Probably a queen, and probably then there's probably a jack after that, and I guess it goes down like that, right?
Can you make that turn an ace of spade and see how the action goes?
yeah, hang on. So we wanna know we were out of position here, so it's gonna be here. And then heat map. Strategy. Everything is bad for us, right?
Wow, call flop.
Unless it comes a 5 or a 6. Or a jack. Jack is not so bad. Like the queen is probably very bad. The 10 is very bad. So like any non-jack Broadway is not great. And then look at spades. Spades are really, really bad. If we pick our combos, pocket 3. And then on. We do bluff on the ace of spade on the turn. All right, and then the other, yeah, so the ace of spade, we would bet it.
Okay.
We're gonna donk the ace of spades.
Yeah,
No, we're in position.
We were.
No,
under the
we
gun.
weren't. We were under the gun.
yeah, we were under the gun and yeah, it's betting a little bit when the ace of spade comes.
I don't think we're donking.
We were under the gun.
What position are we in, LP? Are we under the gun, right?
Yeah. We are.
Under the gun, yeah. The ace of spade come and we bet.
Put the ace
Okay.
of spades up.
Yep.
Wanna see it?
Yeah, no, it's good.
We donk. And then the 10 of spades is gonna take all our chips.
No,
Yeah.
bet small ones. We're not all in, we just bet small ones. If he rips, we call.
He's just calling.
Yeah. That's small. It's checking a lot. How is it checking that often?
This hand doesn't need protection.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah, but you can still
Nope.
get value from a lot of hands, right? Like that's why I'm surprised it's checking too.
50-50.
The board he either has a set or he has nothing here, right? Like
Yeah.
this is one of the, because you have the king of spades, I bet it doesn't check with if you don't have a spade.
Exactly.
He has, under the gun has, I mean, he should have all the pairs up to like tens and even jacks mix some. And queens are even mixing some. Like there's a lot to get called by still. And flush draws.
It's betting plenty.
I mean, this range, this is under the gun range here.
Nope.
No, this is our
This is
range,
button.
right? Yeah, this is our range. Yeah, he still has all the pairs.
Okay, we pick up,
I think I would size up a little bit here.
I would bet small.
I want to bet small.
I think it's a bit
well,
bigger.
we don't have an option like, that's. We don't have a 60% bet here.
Well, then small is probably better, yeah.
Yep.
And
They
then just
stuff it, we
Call
call
off, obviously.
jacks, wow.
Spade.
Yeah, it's the check on that flop. Right? That's to induce him to bet with those jacks.
Yeah. Then when we check, he bets, do you raise on this turn?
Probably not.
I guess, like you said, Vince, right? yeah, he could have some sets there.
Vince didn't say anything yet. We didn't hear any mistakes.
Oh, it might have been so.
Gross.
Really?
Okay, so say we check.
We'll have in a bit.
Yeah, we see bet the flop, right? So I think we did bet, didn't we?
Yeah,
Yeah, we
but
did.
say we check and then the turn comes, the 9 of spade. And now he's supposed to bet small a lot with his jacks a little bit, not that often, but say he does. What do we do with kings, with the king of spade? We're raising,
Spades raises.
alright,
Yeah,
So-
raise small.
yeah.
You could jam it as well.
What are we doing here?
Jamming is definitely not a mistake, Vince.
I'm gonna check raise here a
I
lot.
bet small.
Yeah, I like betting
I'm
small.
gonna check.
Do you wanna check raise for reals?
Yeah, it's great.
Why?
Great spot.
Did it like check? Did it like was check the most favorable option there?
Look at this, Barry. Don't make it complicated. We check 95% of the textures.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we're out of position. Shit, I thought we were a three better with tens. That's why I said C bet. Alright.
And then we're gonna-
Back and forth.
I think this is going to be a rip because
Yeah.
no card is going to be good for us. And this is one of our best value hands.
I think we
Yeah.
just call because he still has all the over pairs too, so, and we can keep his bluffs in. We have backdoor spades. I would.
I like the
call.
all in. I like the all in here.
I like all in too.
You guys wanna? punt?
I'm still thinking about it.
I mean, at this SPR, maybe it is just a rip, but maybe deeper we call. I don't know, but I would call here. Maybe I'm too passive.
I think the tens need a little bit of protection as well. But like, you know, it probably is a rip.
If I didn't have a spade, I'd be more likely to rip probably, but
Off, what about frequencies? How often is this just a call? Let's guess. I guess
think,
40% calls, 60% raise small.
I think it's more of a call at if we were deeper. I think at this stacked pot ratio it might be more of an all-in, right?
on this exact flop LP or
Here, with this plot on
this
this.
exact flop, I think it's gonna be like 50-50.
I think we're
it's gonna
calling
be-
more if we were deeper.
I think it's going to be a 90% jam here.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, okay, alright, you guys had
50.
it right.
50%.
And he donked us.
Oh, wow, the river.
Oh, he had the spades.
Not anything good.
Hmm.
Right, we wanna get it in with trees here. With fours.
So this is why we got a jam nines, tens and jacks.
And that's what I was thinking.
Cause we're
Mhm.
gonna jam all those small pairs too.
Why is the
Yeah.
eight more of a call? Why are the eights more of a call than the nines and the sixes?
I think because you block 8-7.
So the bottom. The bottom of the button's three bet range is tens. They might have like a sprinkle of like eights in there.
Alright, so on these low pair fours, what if it came 6-6 deuce? Or 6-6-5?
I think it's still only gonna be, tens.
Okay.
I think it's going to be very similar for the same reason. Tens still need protection. A lot more call.
Sevens are jamming now.
Almost identical, but the fives and sixes are the ones that are checking again. Because obviously we've got monsters.
Oh, you have more checks and less rips because your fours and threes can make straights here. Right? And your ace seven and your king seven, your 9-8 suited, right? Like you could call a lot more because you have a lot more straight connectivity there.
5s and 6s are full houses and quads.
Yeah.
Oh, so 3s, 2s, 3s,
Yeah.
and 4s. You said right.
Yeah, threes and fours, and like ace seven and 9-8, all of those have straight connectivity. The only ones that's ripping is pocket sevens there.
It's ripping the 2s, 3s, and 4s to
It is, but it's
isn't it?
calling them a lot more too, right? Particularly the four.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they still have the full house draw and can cooler bigger pairs then. And they have the straight connectivity. I bet the raises, the jams are going to come from ones without the equity of a backdoor spade.
Is it gonna be the same phenomenon on 8-8 deuce?
Oh, I kind of get where you're coming from there, Vince. Yeah, because without the spade, you think those ones are the ones that they'd be ripping more.
Darren, stop calling everyone Vince.
Just because he's Canadian don't mean his name's Vince.
I got COVID. You're gonna have to excuse me.
All of us Canadians are look-alike.
COVID brain fog. That's a thing.
Yeah,
If the 8 is paired, is still a thing. What about if the 9 is paired? So far, or on pair boards where there's a flush draw, it's working a lot. Yeah. What if now, let's go back to our 7.
What if it's a big pair? What if it's a big pair like king, king, 3 or something?
I wanna see first if 7-7 deuce or 7-7 3 plays the same way without the flush draw. Kind
Well,
of, but
you don't rip as
now
much.
we're not ripping.
Oh, it's check raise because because he has less auto continues because he doesn't have a front door flush draw.
Right, and then king deuce. Let's look
5.
at king 7. I don't think we're gonna check jam on king 7. There's no way, actually. Like
No.
pocket 3 is never check jamming on king 7.
Let's see. That 2s might.
I don't believe it. Yeah. So now almost pure call, almost never raise unless we have like the king.
It seems like little and when it's a little and middle pair, we
So
want to raise or jam a lot more.
I wonder why it's picking king jack and no other kings.
So around the pair 10, I guess it starts to be a thing here. But hang on, let's look at king 7. I know this has flush draw, all right? Queen deuce.
It's a flush draw too.
There are slivers.
Isn't that a flush draw? Isn't that 2 a spade?
Yeah, there's a flush right here too. Right, so we found a nice little heuristic.
We bet small here. We could induce. Oh, this is a monotone flop stuff.
How do we play on these monotone boards from in position?
Probably checks
Oh,
a
don't we?
lot more, but I'm gonna bet with the spade, I imagine, a lot.
But were you in
Okay.
position there? Sorry.
I think I'm gonna bet small almost 100% of my range here.
We're never folding,
Yeah.
so yeah, probably is a bit small, isn't it?
Alright, so these are our from the button. These are our highest frequency checks across all textures. The first two are monotones. This one is monotone. This one is monotone, monotone. All right. So
There are highest frequency checks.
Yeah. Okay, so first in position, he is betting. What was the overall? It was like 76%. Is betting 76% of the time. Checking frequency is on monotone. All right. So we know we should check a lot here. Do we check with the ace of spade?
I don't think this exact hand's gonna check, because we got a gutter, we got 2 overs, we got flush draw.
Yeah, the ace of spade is never checking here. It is some. Let's see the other aces of spade.
What are you doing? You changing the board now or our hand?
No, I'm just this is the same board. Now I'm looking at how's the ace of spade playing with ace queen or ace jack. It's betting half of the time, checking a lot more than I would.
Make it so it's not a wheel draw and see if it checks a lot more. Because we have the wheel too, right?
What put a 7 out there or something? Or an 8? You're just wondering if it bets or checks more if we haven't got the wheel as well.
I think it might check just a tad more. I don't remember what we checked on the last board.
I think it was the same percentage roughly, wasn't it?
Yeah, tiny bit more.
I feel like it checked more, actually.
We bet a lot more.
Yeah, we're betting more, right?
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
Why is that?
I would have thought it would be the opposite.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're betting a lot more for what? When?
We're betting more without the wheel and less with the wheel.
Huh.
So we check almost every time here. He bets. Now what?
Fold. Just fold.
What if we had ace queen of clubs?
Fold.
What?
Yep.
Ken, you want to fold here with ace queen of clubs?
I do.
Why do you not fold when you play?
I don't think I think it's more of a call. I really do.
LP, I swear you only watch when I'm spewing.
It
went through my hands.
because whenever I'm watching you, you are spewing, right?
I spew some when you're not. I do spew when you're not watching, but you do catch a lot of my spews. To be honest.
I think you do want to call with ace queen of clubs, but what do you want to do? I guess
Look
you
at
wanna
this,
check-
James.
Oh, it's a fold.
It is.
3-bet pot. You don't really defend backdoors. And your
Exactly.
over might not even be a good because he's got Button's got ace king in his range as well.
Mm,
Yeah, he's queen of diamonds, barely defends.
okay.
Have fun.
Yeah.
So out of position, we don't defend backdoors.
I mean, yes, I think it's mostly because the SPR is so low. It's just hard to get to the river and realize all your equity.
I would bet very often here. What about you guys?
Yeah.
Sure, this
Right.
one definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely this one.
He calls, so he might have a 10 or a 7 and then we beat him. He might have a king, so we lose. We pick up showdown. I'm always checking here. What about you
Yeah,
guys?
me too.
Yeah, made
Check
marginal hand now.
25%.
Right, check is good. The 7 is a terrible card. We still beat the 10s and we beat the flush draws. Do we reopen the action?
I'm not going for thin value on this
I check.
texture.
Yeah, I checked this back.
Just check.
Yeah.
I like to go for thin value, but not here.
A 10, surprise.
But it was correct what we said, check all the way, wasn't it? Because it's made marginal hand.
We bet the flop because it's a range bet board and then we pick up equity, we pick up marginal showdown hand. We check.
And we also had a legitimate draw on the flop to bet, luckily.
And I actually think,
Yay, let's check.
is Villain gonna check a king back on the river after he turn goes check? He's still gonna have kings in his range, I think, right?
Yeah, definitely. He's mixing.
This is great.
Should we bet him?
No.
Check raise.
We check.
James-
raise.
Also gonna have
James,
better
is that-
jacks though too.
I
think
no,
it's-
we should check for sure. I don't
Yeah.
even think we should check raise. I think we should check call.
Do we have one person that wanna bet here?
Me.
Peter,
No, I'm checking here.
no, the other Peter, the Swedish Peter. I think I caught the Swedish
Yeah.
Peter.
We
Me?
cannot.
We're checking
cannot
96% of the time here. I got you, man.
No,
I think
yeah,
we
I
can
think
bet.
it's. I think we just check call here,
Yeah,
Oh,
I
it
think
does have
so.
leads.
There's a little bit of
Got
that.
leads.
looking
Yeah,
to
this-
start
this is-
raising if flush draws and four straights come in on the turn.
I'm gonna raise.
How much
Yeah,
is
I
it
mean,
lead? How much is it leading?
8%.
not that- not
A
that
little over
much then.
9%.
It's
Yeah,
always
we-
checking. Out of position here is checking on the report 96%. So if you wanna
Well, we
look
got
for
the-
that 4%, you can, but it's a bit of a waste of time.
Yeah, we got the nuts.
Check raise
Raise
small.
small or raise?
Oh, just call.
Raise small.
Just call two.
I
I'm
think
calling with the
hand
nuts.
class is too strong to raise here.
I think so.
Well,
For this SPR, we just maybe we check call with this.
I mean, we could have a decent amount of bluffs, I think, still. I mean, we're not gonna have a lot of raises, so, but we're gonna have, but we have to have some, right? Like,
With this SPR, even if he checks the turn, we can blast the river and get it all in.
like he's just gonna wanna stack off with ace, queen here, king, queen,
Yeah.
kings, aces, two pair.
Everything.
Yes.
Get it in before the board gets scary for him, before an overcard rolls off. I'm raising small.
Okay, so
Yeah, I like raising small too.
like two
I agree with
ideas. The SPR is so small that maybe we could call and then we want to protect our villain. So we want
You
to,
might be right.
We want to keep him in anyway.
so let's see, let's try raising.
No,
Oh.
The SPR
Oh,
key here. The
Well, we did
SPR
get him
is
to
too
put,
small.
we did get him to put a stack in though, at
we
least.
got lucky though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a 9. Played it a bit aggressively.
He played bad.
Yeah,
I think we want to keep him in there at that stack to pot ratio anyway. If we raise or bet and he chucks it away, we've lost everything.
Yeah,
But here's the thing. Imagine that 8 of diamonds rolls off on the turn and he's sitting there with jack 9. He's going to check, and then the 7 comes. It's hard for him to call a jam.
Call.
how is he leading here?
He has
I don't
pocket
know.
fours.
yeah, we can't.
Yeah, let's just call and at this PS.
I think I raised it.
Oh, I raised that.
It's close.
I think I
Close.
raised that.
Yeah,
I'm
for
mixing
sure.
every option here. It's because he's never leading here. So the solve is like, doesn't know how to play.
Check.
Bet, never checking.
Bet.
here.
I've got to bet when he checks, but he bet leads.
Yeah, time to bet, get some
Put the
money
chips
in
in.
them.
3 is unlikely.
How many threes does he have? Does he ever have like ace three that he's
I don't care
leading
what
on
he's
the
doing.
flop?
No, he didn't play it that way.
He has
No.
no ace
No ace
three.
threes
that-
that-
He's got whatever he's got. I don't care. I'm putting
Is
on
he
my
leading
15.
with like
Ace
pocket
queen.
queens sometimes?
You could have aces here and it doesn't, there's nothing I could do about it. Chips go in.
Hmm,
I don't think he's leading with pocket threes.
no, eights. Pretty weird hand to lead here on this texture.
Very weird.
I bet he just made a mistake. Yeah, you should have checked.
Might be a
How-
sliver for.
How often does his range lead on this flop?
Oh,
4% of the time.
Wow, 40% leads.
I
On a
think it
queen
has to
6-4
do
board?
with the 6 and the 4. So if there's 2 low
30.
cards, so say it was king 6-4, is this the same pattern? King-
37%.
It's leading with the eights more than it is checking then.
I see king 6-4 is very different. What about jack 6-4? Oh no, we don't have it. Jack 6-5? Jack 6-5, so it's really queen 6 and 4. Wow. All right.
Try some different try some different queen assortment boards.
Yep. Let's try to see check EV. Oh, we can't do anything here.
Why was it leading with the eights then? It obviously liked leading with the eights because it was just one overcard and that was it.
Well,
And it was just giving it a bit of protection, I suppose.
it seems to really about the texture here. At least
That might be a board that we check back a lot on and they don't want free cards to hit the turn, maybe. And they
Yeah.
could be good a lot now, like maybe he's just, maybe his eights are good a lot on that texture and he doesn't want. And the solver doesn't wanna let the button check back, maybe, I don't know, like I can't.
Yeah, let's sort by check. Let's go look at the bottom of our.
I like the play, Ken. I like the play. I've been using that play a lot because I'd rather lead out there than second guess and check call.
Yeah, I mean, I never find donks in 3-bet pots, really. I know Faraz was talking about it a few
Queen,
months
queen,
ago
queen,
that it's a
queen.
thing. But I never really could
Queen,
develop a
queen and 2
strategy.
low cards. Or queen mid low.
So what is buttons check back frequency on those flops?
All right.
Just, button has more pairs than we do. Because we don't 3-bet our middle pair, we don't 3-bet our 8s, 9s.
These are the highest checks.
Is that for the button?
Yeah. And then we're looking for these. Queen 7-4, queen 7-3, queen 7.
Oh, that's.
It doesn't match, it seems to match the highest checks. Queen 7-4. What do we do from the in position on queen 7-4? Well, he's gonna lead into us, so what are we gonna do? We're just gonna say he checks to us on queen 7-4. Let's see.
We just range bet anyway, wouldn't we?
That's what I'm curious about.
We had kings anyway, right? But we'd range bet there anyway. At the
Now we
time, right?
have a 2-year-old.
It's broken. Queen 7-4 rainbow. Let's see. When it's checked to us, we range bet. Alright. But it seems to be the same pattern more or less, right?
I thought if I could identify flops that the button's supposed to check back a lot, it would correlate with donks and might make it easier to know, but. it's not
In
a thing.
other scenarios, I'm sure it's true, but
Yeah, not here. Difficult.
right, so
Oh,
it's
all
like,
of those are pretty much rainbow too, eh?
Are there any boards that when in the 3-bet pot on the button,
Seven
there any
spades,
boards?
six of spades, 4 dimes.
how many boards are we actually checking?
No.
And what type of boards then?
So it's
Because
like
we're
like
going to range bet a lot, right?
It seems like queen, like, and then 7 and 6.
Right.
So if it's queen 7x, queen 6x, 7 6x.
Right. With a jack
9 6 in there.
Yeah.
So 9 6 3. Very unconnected. 9 high there. Be cool if we had more. It'd be cool if we had more samples.
But this is literally the type of boards we should be checking on the button in a free bet pot, right? Rather than
no, we're range betting.
Yeah, the button was betting a lot.
These are just the type of board that he's gonna be able to lead us into it.
Oh, okay. That's what I was saying. What type of boards would we check on the button, or are we always going to be range betting?
A monotone flops we check the most.
Right.
On the button.
On queen high rainbow board that have 2 cards under the 7.
Are we more apt to bet big on a duotone board or a rainbow board?
The sizing doesn't change whether you have a flush or not. What's gonna change in your range is what combos you're gonna check and what combos you're gonna bet.
Are you sure about that? Are you sure that if
I've seen like 100 scenarios so far where my graph for like dry boards and my graph for like rainbow boards was 1 or 2% off. So at least 100 times on different spots. So for me, it's very, very solid.
So we see bet like 75% of the time on the button, but we check like 40% from monotone. So I assume the vast majority of our checks from all textures are coming from monotone flops.
Yeah, I'm more.
I guess what you've just said there, Louis, that last sentence about the 2 cards under a 7 kind of makes sense, because we looked and it said the button should have been free betting all the 8s and 9s.
Yeah, he's really, really short when it comes to 7 and lower.
And we defend all the low pairs.
He doesn't have the 7s and below.
So do we have nut advantage on that board?
Is that when we lead? We lead when
yeah. So queen 7-4 rainbow. Range explorer looking for out of position. At the top we're equal. At the middle, like this is the middle part of the range. So this is probably like 9 high and lower. And whenever it comes rainbow, in positions, equity is a lot better than ours. But if it comes a low board, it's either very close or like, yeah. It's Scott here. Scott.
So on this exact flop though, who has the range, who has the equity advantage? Is this it? This is the exact
for me
flop.
to tell.
We probably have more nut combos, right? Because he definitely hasn't got any of the 7s or 4s, is he, that he's free betting?
For the beginning of the deck, like the really low boards, we like in position as the equity advantage, the range advantage, and the nut advantage. The nut advantage is here. Okay, so we definitely in position has the nut advantage, but range advantage is like really close for a great part of the deck.
Louis, you said for all boards. This is only for this board. You said for
this is only for this board.
Yeah. This is.
How would you interpret it, Scotty?
Say what?
How would you interpret it? Who has the range advantage and the
okay? So in position has the range advantage, because if you just look at the height, if you average the height of all the hands in position, is only. It's only in positions, middling hands, quality hands that are lower. But in position doesn't have a huge range advantage. So and then the nut advantage is equal. So look at look at the top 10% of hands or so, and you'll see they cluster together. So their best hands and our best hands, you know, we have comparable percentages of the nuts.
So
We've
on
got a little
average,
bit of a nut advantage there, but not a huge one.
so
But we've
on
got-
average, the red line is a bit higher than the other one, so
Right.
in position has the range advantage. And
Yes,
if we look at the last 10%, the nut advantage is really close.
exactly.
Okay,
Can you
nice.
change, can you change
So-
his board to ace 4-5?
Right.
So on middling boards, we have he has. I mean, we have same nut combos, and on the ends we. Right.
But-
What if that
Yeah,
was
we have a
four?
lot of the
It
same nut combos.
differentiates on the ends.
Right, but,
Okay,
but
okay.
when we miss the board, he's ahead. So out of position, when both players miss the board, out of position is ahead.
So here we just have the nut.
That's just a huge range advantage.
And the range.
For in
advantage.
position, right?
Would
Yeah.
you say this here with this difference, it's the nut advantage as well?
Yeah, it's got a nut advantage. We still got the nut advantage, but it's not a huge nut advantage.
Okay.
They have a huge range advantage.
Yeah, huge range advantage there.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, because they've got all the big aces.
Yeah,
Alright, so I guess we check here. Facing a small bet. Uh-oh. Here comes
I think you
trouble.
have to call. I think you have to call.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll agree there on the small bet, definitely.
No, it's not. It's-
Backdoor straight, backdoor flush. We don't defend backdoors.
I was gonna
Right.
say, fold, and we block a lot of bluffs actually with ace queen too, so
wow.
Backdoors check out.
we need more, we
Yeah,
need
the
direct
board.
straight draws. We need like a king. We need a king in our hand probably here, or like even like an 8.
If we have a
I
draw to the
guess-
nuts, it looks like we stay in there with the ace of spades. Yeah, we need to draw to the nuts.
King, queen, and 8, probably our best hands to continue with.
I guess because it's a free bet pot again, isn't it?
Yep.
And
We should be folding a lot more.
yeah, you just need you need direct connectivity.
Free bet pot's different, isn't it?
Yeah.
But Louis, we are defending backdoors to the nuts, or at least these backdoors to the nuts.
Now,
the ace, right?
The ace of spades, that's enough.
at a higher SPR, we might be defending backdoors more, right? I don't know. I'm assuming we would, but I don't really know.
I think if it was a single raised pot as well, this would definitely be a call, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So, Louis, are we defending all backdoor diamond draws here? Like all ace high backdoor diamond draws to kind of continue that nut idea? Ace
Nope.
6 of diamonds is folding.
Nope.
You
7
need
ace
a
8.
combo draw
Look
probably.
at your ace queen of diamonds.
Let's take a look at ace queen of diamonds.
2 overcards. And yeah, there we
Yeah.
are.
Yeah, but like you see the call isn't, go back to the ace queen. Well, how much does it make when you call?
No chips.
It's not making any chips, right? So you don't really have to defend it.
No.
I just
No, you
punted.
don't.
And then when you factor in population probably doesn't 3-bet wide enough, so they're gonna have less bluffs when they bet the flop.
Yeah.
They're gonna have more equity either way. Like it just makes it even more of a fold, I think.
Ken,
Yeah.
a quick question. If this was a single raised pot, would you range bet this flop or would you just check call this ace queen there?
Well, we're out of position, so.
Check call.
Check call.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, but also remember in a single raise pot, we're the aggressor at this point.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
We're doing a
So
lot of
that's
checking,
why-
and that changes the dynamic.
Right.
That's
I
why
would-
I asked whether you would range bet it or
I
whether
would
you
probably
just
still
call.
check call.
No, definitely not range bet it. We almost never
Definitely
range
not.
bet out of position.
Check bet call. You shouldn't be here.
Don't worry, we won't be.
No, not now.
Phew. Who can I blame for the flop call? It wasn't me.
Me, you can blame me.
It
It's
was me.
totally
I'll take some of the blame for
I
that.
think everyone just.
But look, when we make that mistake, how often we call on the turn.
Oh, yeah, building on a mistake though, right?
Yeah.
I think we need to remember that in free bet pots, we need to be tighter there, right?
I would bet this.
At 60.
So bet small?
Well, hold on. Do you guys want to get check jammed?
Just.
No,
go
it's
bet.
jack 10.
Yeah.
It's never 9-8.
Yeah, like I think that might have been a better spot to check.
Well, it's betting a lot. We have the ace of spade.
And the jack's is a key card here as
If we
well.
didn't have a spade, would we bet this spot a lot or?
Ace queen might check
Yeah,
more.
we do mostly bet it.
Although if he does jam, it's not the worst hand to put down. I don't think anyway, is it?
But
Yeah,
seems like it's
No.
betting it. Okay, so for ace jack, it's betting a little bit less with the spade. Without the spade, it's betting less. And then with the ace king, it's mixing. Like ace of spade, king of diamond is checking a lot.
yeah. I think the big thing is ace king is probably going to be okay to, if it gets check raised, call off.
Yeah.
But ace jack probably doesn't want to check raise and get called off here.
That's funny. I think about it and it makes sense. And I'm thinking about it like the jack is kind of, I can make a straight with my jack still. And I have 2 overs and I have the, so.
The
That's kinda why I
jack
thought it was
is
C-bet.
calling when it checks. And then,
Yeah, check. I mean, I could check.
oh, actually, no,
Nope.
man. No.
It's folding.
It is.
When you get-
folding. When you
When
bet,
you
face a raise, yeah, definitely folding. And then.
Yeah,
ace
when you get
king.
check raise jammed, it's bad with ace jack, but it's okay with ace king.
If you have a spade in your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when we have the ace king, we call off with it. What do we do to a check raise jam?
We're C betting ace
Yeah.
jack more than ace king, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's what my
Yeah.
point was. The jack is kind of connected to the flop, so we're gonna C bet it more than ace king and ace queen, I think.
We're calling off with ace king.
With the ace of spades
Yeah,
and
folding
the
with the
spades.
ace king. And
yeah,
the-
although strangely, not with the ace of diamonds, king of spades.
yeah, but if you call with the king of spade, you're losing chips.
Yeah,
Cause we want him to have the spade bluffs.
So I don't, do you ever check raise this? Cause I don't hate it.
The king is really bad for us. The 10 is not so good for us as well.
Yeah.
I've
I think
never
we have
been
to call
using
one.
it.
I think we have to
I
call with
think we
a
call one we call with a gut shot and a backdoor flush draw without a doubt.
Yeah,
and
okay.
over-
but
and
You
over-
guys gonna try to call again?
I would fold here because I thought I just
Fold.
told here that.
No, those were backdoors.
Is this
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
not?
is a direct gutter.
we got 2 backdoors and an overcard in this one.
This
I don't
isn't a
think this is
backdoor.
just
You have a
clean,
gutter,
clear
so
fold,
it
right?
might.
We also have a
call.
gutter.
The gutter is what matters.
Yeah, I think the
Yeah,
gutter
Louis
could
call
call
that one.
some, but still gonna mostly fold.
No,
It's raising.
James, James, I guess you were right. It's check raising a lot here. Mostly check raising.
yeah.
Makes sense.
Well,
We check call.
yeah, well,
Now we have.
So
This
what
is
I wanna
why
learn
we
on this
prefer
spot
to
is
check
how do we
raise.
proceed when we check raise? That's what I wanna learn.
Well, it's easy. You barrel turn if you pick up equity, so we need a
Right, I mean, that's what
club.
I would assume, but it might go bonkers. I have no idea. I mean, I think. you need
No.
equity.
No, if
it
you
We
don't
block
pick it
ace,
turn.
we block ace, king, ace 10, king, jack.
You
Jack.
No,
wanna
if you-
spew
if you-
him. You wanna spew one.
I mean, I'm folding now, but I wanna see how we do.
Yeah,
How we
I'm not,
play.
I'm not gonna let you spew.
no, you have to fold now, but
Yeah, you have to fold now.
Say we check raise small, he calls, and then we're looking at the turn.
3 spades, all right, 2 of spades. Fine.
Oh my
Two,
God.
whatever.
ace jack's the only one we check.
Oh, we spew.
So we're still losing our shit. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think when you get in these spots, sometimes the solver just likes to lose its shit.
It's losing its shit here, is it? What's it doing? Going all in?
If you check, you can't fold because the pot's because of how the stack to pot ratio is.
Well, if that's the case, then why wouldn't you just, jam? Why are you gonna bet? Oh, that's what it's doing, and it just jamming.
You hope to get folds when you check raise, and you also hope to hit your better equity on the turn. Obviously,
yeah. You have a few trap hands that want to check raise small.
Okay, so
But
pretty
you have some
sick.
bluffs that check raise small too.
We check raise and then we blast any turn.
Any
Kind
turn.
of strategy.
So I
Pretty much.
think I think you would check raise something like maybe 6-7 of spades or 6-7 of diamonds or something like this. But I don't think you're going to be check raising like 7 or something like maybe a7 or
I think it's
like that.
I think you're going to be check raising ace king with the flush blocker there in that last hand. Small because it's not worried about getting drawn out on as much.
I'm actually checking his flop a fairly decent amount.
Yeah, I don't 100% disagree with that. He could be all over this, and we don't want to get pushed off with the nut flush draw.
Yeah, I mean, we got to call a jam. We got to call if he check jams, we're never folding, right? But
I am checking
we
here.
block all the bluffs when he does that.
Yeah, we keep in the bluffs as well by checking.
Yeah, I'm checking here 0% of the time.
Right.
0.5%.
Never
I will be.
Too nitty. Wow. I get scared. I see all them throwaway cards up there.
Well, he called a free bet. He could have ace, jack, ace, queen, jacks, queens, all them kind of things. You just think, wow.
Just have a straight.
Yeah, let me see if I can hit the 10.
But
The
thing is,
top pair, guys, don't be scared.
I mean, we're not
with this
folding
hand-
when he jams.
with this hand, if he jams, you're never folding,
Right.
right?
At this SPR, you're just supposed to lose all your chips. You just,
Yeah.
and if
Okay.
you play any different way, you might not lose all your chips. And that's not what you're supposed to do.
Yep.
What about this backdoor?
Snap fold.
Yuck, snap fold.
Snap fold.
Why are we snap folding that one?
I don't know why.
Because of the back doors. We said we don't call back doors, so I don't know why we call it.
Well,
it's three bet.
it's mixing folds already, so I think it's fine.
Calling only earns 1 chip,
Oh, I see. Okay.
right?
He's calling all
It's a very
Very good.
marginal spot because you're going to be ahead of his worst king highs that are trying to bluff you out of our king high.
Well,
Right.
he's range betting here probably, so we are going to be ahead of a lot of stuff. He's going to bet king queen just ahead of a lot of shit probably already.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we had a backdoor flush and straight
Well,
draw, I suppose.
Still difficult to get to the river out of position, right? So
Yeah.
But did I see that wrong, or did it say, no, we're calling 90% of the time there?
Said we're calling.
I
Well,
wanted to call a little bit.
it did call, but it didn't make any chips.
Right, but it's calling all the time.
No,
pretty much.
Yuck.
No, it's still mixing folds.
I think it's calling more because there's 2 back doors, and not only that, if he hasn't got an ace, we've got 2 overcards to whatever else he's got.
Yeah.
Is
That's
he
Yeah,
only
probably
one
might.
and it's mixing, so it's very thin.
Is he range betting that flop?
Yeah, definitely.
Because he could have jacks, 10s, all of that as well. And we end up spiking our card on the turn.
So we're ahead of a bunch of his bluffs. That's probably why.
Mhm.
Okay, what do you guys want to do here?
Wow. We're not
I'd
going to
probably
win it.
just-
We're not going to win it showdown. We got to bet this. This is
I mean,
bottom
if
of
I
our
had
range.
anything but hearts, I would probably bet, but I think I'm just giving up, to be honest. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
like
not
a
screwing
fold
around.
too. I'm a folder right there.
Yeah.
I like the bet. We've got no showdown value.
Yeah, this is the literal worst hand in our range.
Yeah.
Yep, and that's why.
And he's
Yeah.
got kings and queens. What we don't want to play.
Why I
them.
don't want to donate no more chips.
Andrea,
Oh,
I'm
that's
gonna
why
put
we-
you on the
that's why we
spot.
bet
Are you
small.
ready?
I'd go for it if I had a backdoor flush, but I'm not gonna. I wasn't doing it with hearts.
I like the play.
now.
We had
Andrea.
position on the. We had position. So I think we had to bet it.
Andrea,
Position, but look at that board and how it connects with his range.
Yeah,
Andrea,
but we've got the range and nut advantage here.
are
Okay.
we supposed to do in a 3-bet pot as the 3-better on the flop?
We're
We
supposed to bet.
continue.
We're supposed to bet.
Yeah.
Here we
Let's-
are the 3-better.
We
Okay,
have
then we need-
25%
we need to
checks.
bet.
So we
I
need
have
to
C
bet.
bet, the C bet monkey. Let's go.
Let's go. And now he stuffs it, so we just fold. But
Yep.
we played it fine.
It was interesting that has some size ups on that bets too.
I missed that, did it?
Yeah, it had over
yeah,
20%
this, right.
sizing up
Oh yeah, this, right? What are you gonna do that for? I mean,
because you unblock all the flush draws and the straight draws, and you unblock all his garbage.
oh yeah, so you don't want him to continue with like ace queen of diamonds.
So,
Yeah.
okay, so what's interesting then James brought this up earlier. I bet there is more large bets on rainbow flops than two-tone, because on two-tone flops, they can have more direct front door draws.
You like the
Yeah,
They
auto
don't defend the
call.
backdoor draws as often.
That
Can you
makes
pull
sense.
both? Can you pull both those up though? That same scenario?
We could, but the thing is, we don't have the graph master.
That's got to be right what Ken said, though, isn't it? Surely. You'd like to think if there's a lot more front draws that there's going to be more checking, right?
Yep.
What do we do here?
Uh,
Andrea, what do we
check.
do
Gonna start with a check.
in a 3-bet
is-
spot as the caller pre-flop?
Oh,
This
you
is
have
like
to-
the
you
one
need to
earlier.
Check this straight.
Look at
This
this,
is-
Andrea.
Uh-huh.
We are checking here.
95.
No, it's not the big one. Yeah, we were checking 96% of the time here as the auto
Right.
caller. So
Mhm.
we just check.
This is a race. For sure. Because we had the same
Barry.
scenario a minute ago.
Barry,
Absolutely,
Barry, oh
definitely
my
right.
God, we had the backdoor flush the other time. We don't have the backdoor flush.
Raise it up.
Alright,
Fold.
It's
What's
not
up?
this. I can't see it's going to fold this, but you could be right.
I'll raise it. Go ahead, go for it. They didn't seem to do it last time.
Yeah, but we had the Louis said we had the
Small.
back. Did we? I thought we had the backdoor flush last time.
we did, not here.
Yeah.
I bet all the ace queen suiteds are going to continue, and I think the ace queen offs are going to mix. I think you're going to see some folds here.
Yeah,
I don't think we ever call. Well, I think it's a folder raise.
I think you're right. I think it's a fold.
That's gonna call.
Good call.
No, it folds. It's starting to fold. All the ace queen suiteds that have the extra equity are going to call, but those ace queen offs are going to start folding.
So you need the backdoor flush
Raises more
check
than it
raise.
calls. It raises
With
more
the
than it
gutter.
folds.
Peter is spot on.
It was the same heuristic we saw with when we had the king queen of diamonds, and it was the ace 2-3 board. The ones with the backdoor flush, the suited king queens continued, and all the offsuit ones were folding. And that's the same here.
Oh, ace queen is too strong there.
I'm squinting.
Calls
like-
everything.
Again, I just realized I have it on minimize on my own screen.
So we're calling ace queen of every
Calling or
suit
raising?
there.
Well,
raising.
no, as Peter said, we have slivers of folds here because of this heuristic.
Right.
Yeah, and you look, it's calling all the ace jacks, ace tens, ace queens that have suited combinations that have backdoors, and the tens a
Okay.
pair.
And then the
But-
offsuit one is just mostly folding.
And what's important to know is our raises, we're raising our best kings. Right? We gotta find our value.
So basically, it was saying to call, but it was calling with the backdoors
Yeah,
included.
because of the odds of him just getting it in with any king in his range, we
Yeah.
need the extra equity of having the backdoor flush. Continue here.
We're not raising king 7 or king 10 much. And so if we don't bother raising our other marginal crap, we can just get away with raising our best kings, king, jack, king, queen.
So when we're looking at calling a backdoor, can we say we need the full three components here? the backdoor flush, the backdoor straight, and overcard. So if you have all three, it's likely that we are gonna call.
I think it's
Right.
similar. It's similar to big blind versus under the gun. Kind of needs all that stuff too.
Yeah, against the
But the
small bet.
exception was, but not against a king high board.
One of the hands earlier was telling us to check raise though as well, wasn't it?
We had
It liked to check
flush and the
raise.
gutter and an over.
Right. What a front door flush was it, Ken?
Oh, right, front door flush. Yeah.
I don't know. That's what I was
Oh,
asking.
no, it was front door.
Oh, right. So that was when we did a check raise instead.
Was it a front door flush or? But I don't remember. We had the gutter. No, backdoor flush. It was a rainbow flop, right?
Yeah, but that one was telling us to check raise, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Rather than, I guess that would be the play then. So if we've got all that going for us, then is it a call or is it a check raise more often than not?
If we have all three components, we're likely to raise.
Okay.
And then just go broke.
Like here, ace, queen of spade, ace, queen of clubs.
So we're gonna go.
So the
we're
question
gonna
is,
go for broke.
is it better to check raise small or check raise all in with all three of those going for you?
Ace queen of diamonds is making the most money there.
We got
It's
more
gonna
fold
mix.
equity, I guess, if we check raise all in, but and we don't get reshoved. I don't know.
Ooh. This is a jam board, but I don't think this is a jam hand.
I'm betting though. I have a gut shot and over.
Nope. This isn't a range
is-
bet board.
This is just a check
Well, I didn't
back.
say I was range betting. I'm just gonna bet this hand.
I think check or bet, both are fine.
Well, are you thinking that this is like the bottom of our range for a jam, Peter? Is that what you're thinking?
I think the problem is we don't block any of the auto continues here. And we don't have the hands that want to jam, which is going to be ace, queen, and ace, king.
Yeah.
So I think this one is probably going to check a lot.
That's a good
Oh,
point,
okay.
Vince.
No, it's a range bet. I'm wrong.
Okay, so with this SPR, we just call, right?
I would just call. Yeah, go keep his bluffs
Yeah.
in now.
Hmm.
And then I smack myself in the head. I face plant, palm face plant, whatever the hell it is, when he hits the spade. But yeah.
Yeah. Now he's got the boat, hasn't he? We know he's got the boat now.
It's possible, but we're pretty happy.
Let's
I-
lose all our
I
money
think-
on the road.
I think here you have to bet for value. I think you have to bet small, like,
Well, we only have a little more than half pot left, so we're just gonna rip it, right?
Yeah, there is no
Yeah.
small bet.
And we lose.
He's got the boat.
Oh, that's your.
Just
Go broke.
so let's say
One
the
five
stack-
percent of the time, we don't go broke there.
Well, you know how we don't go broke? If we see bet and he check jams, we probably fold.
Wanna fold with the straight?
Well, no, on the flop,
On the
we were
flop.
supposed to see bet. So if we see bet and he check jams, do we fold? That's how I'm saying. That's how we don't go broke.
Definitely we do.
If we play it correctly.
Yeah, because we were supposed to see bet, wasn't we?
Okay, flush draw, we would want to have a four of spade to continue here.
Yep.
But the thing is, we're ahead of the threes and the twos here.
I think this could be one of those
You don't
jam
have
hands.
threes and twos.
Yeah, yeah,
This could be the jam hand because we haven't got the spade. But then again, we have got the backdoor straight draw. We
You know, that'd
definitely
be sick, but it might actually do it.
we definitely continue here in one way or the other.
We're behind against spades with 2 overs, which you will surely know.
I think we call with the spade and we jam without, right?
No, definitely not.
You think
I
it's
think
a
I
call
like that.
This is just a
because of
fold.
the back door. It's never a fold, Louis.
Right.
I'm never just calling. So I'm either folding or raising.
We need the
We
four.
had this-
If we had the four of spade, we would always continue.
You would always continue, not me.
Yeah.
Oh, I
because
see
you're
what you're
playing,
saying. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay. I'll go with you on that, Louis.
Oh, it's a call.
And let's look to see if what kind of difference the four of spades makes.
So far, defending those small pairs have lost us a shit ton of fucking money. We got a lot of catching up to do, and we get lucky and suck out with them.
That's
So
your
we-
perception. That's your like
I'm just
memory.
counting. I'm just counting up how they're performing so far in this little
You're not,
experiment. we're
you're
doing.
not counting anything. You're just basing you're on your own bias, man. It's not good.
Go back to the strategy and.
Yeah,
hover
what
over
was it
for a
saying on the
second.
suits there?
Okay, so with the
So
four
we're
of
calling.
spades, we check raise. Without it,
Or-
we check call. That's a
or check
that's a
rip.
simplification. Yeah, check raise, check rip. Same with the fives. Sixes and sevens and eights. Stop doing that.
Because they're just higher in equity.
Yeah, they're
Sets,
enough to
they're
stick
sets.
around.
No, it's
That's
another one.
interesting.
So what fours, sorry, was it saying to rip and what ones to call? Four of spades, it was saying what?
Check
Ship it
jam
in.
with the spade in your hand.
And the other fours are just calling.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can get behind that part of the strategy, but like just calling part, I'm not. It's a waste.
I think I'm raising this. Yeah. I think
It
I-
might
I
be
think-
a waste in your oldest memories, Ken, but you need to get rid of it. Just
We
let
know
it
for a
go.
fact, we're supposed to call any pair to a small bet.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
Ugh,
How do we play this one? Should be easy.
we bet it.
Bet.
Yeah, top pair, top kicker.
Uh-oh, what is he doing all of a sudden on the seventh turn? I don't
You can
believe
only
that.
just call.
Ah,
Does he have 10-8? Oh my God.
He's very polarized,
Oh,
right?
no.
So
At this
Uh,
SPR, we don't care.
he's got
Oh my
worse
Go broke.
aces. He's
You
gonna
got to
keep
call
barreling.
this.
See, my guess, okay, with this SPR, the way I would play it is like top pair, top kicker type of hand are always playing fast at this SPR. But if we had the straight, we would always just call. Or if we had a set, we would always just call.
So when I
Yeah,
think,
I think
I
you're
think about
right.
it that
Louis.
he's polarized and we're either beat or way, way, way ahead. So I just call.
I'm always raising here. Just
Yeah, me
because of
too.
SPR and the
Yeah, I mean-
hand class we have.
I'm always raising too.
This.
He's got it.
10-8, the bastard.
It was
Oh.
When he led on that turn, I was 100% sure he had it because I'm sure he never does it with anything else. Like,
So I'm going broke no matter what, but I still would just call.
Yeah. I like the jam
see.
though, because there's too many scare cards on the turn that could kill the action for you.
Yeah, with the SPR so low, I guess his bluffs are all high equity bluffs to go with his value. So we just are getting it in and.
no,
running
no,
it.
no, no. It's just a question of our hand class versus SPR.
Yeah.
Top pairs,
Right.
second pair, we're just gonna no, top pair, we're just gonna raise almost every time. And if we have a set or a straight, we're almost always calling.
What do we do with like ace five and diamonds on the turn?
It's 5 of diamonds on the turn.
When he leads into us, do we jet that as well?
Oh, that seems terrible.
Well, that's
a
our
bad
worst
spot.
Top
ace.
pair, like he said, I mean, you're saying
top
we
pair,
we
we
just
get top pair
we
no
just
kicker.
run it with top pair. I'm curious if we run it.
So you have a shitty kicker. No,
Well, it's
I
still
don't think
top pair.
I don't think we bet 60% with ace five on the flop.
No, we bet
So he dumps out.
30%.
Yeah, I don't think we. Oh yeah, we probably do.
Oh,
bet
he doesn't
30%.
check the 7. He bets the 7. That's
Yeah, he
the, that's the
leads.
issue.
So yeah.
I'm probably gonna go broke with it.
See, 2 pair, pure calls.
Right.
10, if we had the straight, pure call.
We don't even have ace
Our
five
best
suited.
top pair is always getting in, and look at ace 10, ace jack, we're calling with these. So it's not always top pair, but it's our best top pair.
Why didn't we have ace five suited? We were on the button, right?
Yeah,
Wait, was it that texture? The tens and jacks had block bluffs. I think maybe that's why I didn't call.
So I think this is a spot right here that Louis and I reviewed a while back, and I think that we just call this. I don't think we check raise it.
Yeah,
I
I
want to
think
call.
so as well. It's mostly a raise.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see how we
Yeah.
structure our flush draws.
Yeah, that's unusual. At this stack to pot ratio, you're going broke then, aren't you?
So if
Ace
you
high.
see here, we see the very same pattern very often. Ace 10 to ace king. If we had ace king, probably checking and then calling. The wheels, always betting. The king eyes, like you want to lean towards usually doing the same pattern as the ace eyes. You want to bet the worst one and want to check call the best ones. But for the king eyes, it's a bit different here.
So we're calling the best flush draws basically with
Yeah, because if you have a like ace jack of spade here and a jack rolls off, and then your opponent has king jack, you're gonna play for a very big pot.
yeah, no, that makes sense.
Whereas
Ace 10,
when
king
you have
jack.
ace three and you bet, you can get, if your opponent has like ace 8 or ace 9, you can get a better ace size than yours to fold.
Yeah,
Whereas
you're
when you
ripping
have
ace
ace
three.
king, you don't get better hands than yours to fold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Is
king 9.
this specific texture though we looked at earlier, and remember queen, like we looked at it was queen 6-4, but queen 6-2 is also going to be one of those situations where we have a lot of check raise rips.
Rips, yeah.
So that's also why king 9 suited gets to rip here, because it's protected by all of the hands that we're doing with pairs in this situation.
So yeah, I missed that. This is a check jam board for out of position.
Yeah.
Does it say that there as well then? Right.
Yeah.
Does it? It's yeah. Check jam. 97%.
No, 56%.
Right.
And,
Still a lot.
This percentage is the size of the pot. This is how often we go, and this is the value.
Right.
and even this one has a check raise small as a bit of a semi bluff where you're going to barrel the turn probably.
Yep. Okay, so we should have check jam, but now here we are.
The queen pairing is not bad for us. It still has some big bets.
I agree. I like a big bet here.
But
I
now
actually
we,
don't
I
mind
like an all
a
in. Yeah,
jam.
we've got no showdown.
yeah, now when we get to the river, yeah, it's a small part of the tree, but
Yeah, we didn't have no showdown. We knew that with the free bet pot with the king high, we had to rip it.
Wow. Yeah, I'm surprised he checks this turn though.
he has no queens in his range, and we have a lot of queens still.
That's why. Must be why.
Right? So the queen is the worst card for him. Right? That's where all our check jams come from. So
he must have ace queen in his range, but that's like the only one, Peter, right?
What does he do when the backdoor flush comes in?
yeah, he has. Oh, good question, Vince. He does have some of the best queens, but he has very few queens.
Yeah. Queen, king suited, and ace queen.
I would think I would just check back anyway with the queen and then the flush. Missing value.
Put a queen of diamonds on the turn. And then 10 of diamonds on the river.
Check on the turn.
He's not checking with kings on a queen of diamonds.
He's not.
He did on our board though.
Yeah,
oh, there's a sliver of checks. He decided to use the sliver.
He found the sliver of checks.
I guess
just because he knew that he could induce our bluff on the river.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just going for it.
No, this is our so he checked. This is our response to his check on the river.
No.
Isn't it? Am I looking at the wrong
That's
thing?
him. We don't have kings, Vince.
Oh. So when he checks and we rip it, what's his response?
No,
Called
we
with
check and he's ripping with kings. You don't have kings here, Vince. Are you following?
We were out of position, Vince.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'd have already shipped kings.
and
I
villain.
think
Position.
he leads. Oh my gosh. I think
No,
think
I
you have
see
to-
bet, he raises, now it's back to us.
I mean,
Oh,
I
okay.
wouldn't
You go,
ever
Bert.
expect, I would never expect to get check raised here. Cause he doesn't
I'm all
have
in.
ace king.
Gonna stack ace jack.
At this SPR, we're all in.
Yeah, you have to go all in. But this sucks.
Yeah, it sucks, but yeah.
If he ever, is there any reason though not to shove here just because he folds his bluffs?
So what do we
We're
think
not-
he's
we're
check
never
raising? Is
folding.
he check raising like ace two and ace five? Like,
Jack
would he
six.
do that more than like ace jack? I think,
No, he's not supposed to, is he? I think he's
well,
meant to
they
call
have
those.
extra outs, like ace jack isn't really gonna have extra outs against ace king.
But the pair takes precedence over the draw, right? So he should just call those and re-raise the ace 10, ace jack hands, I think.
Queen ten.
That's what I was
Stop.
thinking.
What the
is
fuck?
You're gonna remind
is
me.
that we don't re-raise.
So why don't you think we re-raise there? Because I really believe that if we just call 200,
No,
I mean-
we are re-raising because we have top.
Yeah.
I don't understand his raise there at all.
Yeah, he's punting.
Yeah. He's spewing.
Yeah, he should be folding, but he went for the,
He didn't believe we had it.
now I think
we should just
we
call.
reviewed this. I think it's a raise. I think
I would
we reviewed
raise.
this.
yeah, you
think we
think it's
just
a
call-
raise? That's
I think we just
interesting.
called down.
Did you miss this part I wrote here?
We just called him down all the way.
Definitely. Oh, it's mixing. Yeah, bottom set, it's not gonna like slow play a lot very often.
I
Yeah.
think bottom set we raised, and I think middle and top set are
We
just
don't
call.
block any of his value with the bottom set.
Check
Yeah,
on the turn, I'm stuffing it here.
Yep,
No, I think it's
I'm
a check.
checking.
just
I
stuff.
think it's a
Never
check.
checking.
Oh my
God,
goodness,
so
he's
bad.
such a luck box.
What was it? A raise on the turn?
Yeah,
Right.
50-50 on the turn.
Well,
Wait a minute, on the turn? You mean on the flop? We
if
didn't
we
get.
check raise flop last turn, at least we get it in ahead.
Hmm.
Our big blind for 100 adjusted would be good.
Yeah,
Instead we get it in bad on the river.
yeah.
What did it prefer on the flop? Did it prefer the call or the raise or mix?
50-50 on the flop.
50-50.
Slightly
Right.
more check raising,
And then on the turn, we couldn't check raise because he checked behind,
right?
even though he picked up equity. How does this guy not know how to play? You should have bet that.
Well, he done us in a couple of hands playing the same way, didn't he?
Yeah.
I think we're
So,
on
like,
a
this is-
leveling war with the solver right now.
I think you have to check this back.
No.
I think you're supposed to check this back. I
Uh,
really think so.
top set monotone. I think it's gonna check.
Nope.
No,
I'm gonna bet
we
because-
still need to go for value.
Yeah, we gotta get some money in there.
Yeah,
Like
he
he's
could have
gonna
tens
call
or
with
threes.
pocket four with the four of spade.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
Ken?
that's
We're
true.
getting called by any one spade hand, so
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
This is a check fold.
Oh boy, it goes check. Oh my goodness.
No, don't get any delusions of grandeur, Louis. Check.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
Gary, think about all the hands we could get him to fold.
That we could try to get him off of. Yeah.
You're right,
Ace
you
10
could.
offsuit, what is he
but
gonna
it's a
do?
free bet. It's a free bet pot, though. That's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah, but how is it a problem if he checks her? If he
So
checks her,
which size do you wanna bluff?
Small.
Mm,
I
Small.
think we would go. I
It's
think
a
we
check.
gotta go at least 120.
I think it's a check.
I think
At
if
least.
you bet, you have to commit to betting big on the river. And I think you have
What?
to bet small here and jam the river. If you're
So I
going
don't
to
think
bet.
the button's gonna get to fold very many overcards to a small bet.
right, so the only reason why I think it's out of line is it's too high in our range. It's like the middle of the range, right? We have worse hands to bluff, like,
Not many.
5-6 suited
queen
or
nine.
four those lower ones.
10-9.
We do
Lower
not.
ones have
We don't have
draw.
a lot of worse hands here.
That's what I'm
No.
noticing now. We don't have much worse hands.
Yeah,
You're-
we have
We're
queen
thinking
nine.
we're
Queen
thinking
nine,
we're gonna
that's
bluff
it,
it,
right?
aren't we?
Yeah, so bluff away.
Okay, okay.
It's gonna have to be a big bluff, right?
Or two
Or
streeter.
we
more
set it
likely.
up for a river jam.
I think we
Yeah.
gotta
It's
go at least
a one
120.
and done type of spot. I like 120.
Yeah,
We
if
stop
you're gonna bluff,
120
you
and then
gotta
we
go
give
for
up,
it.
right?
Big bluff.
Just one turn.
120 or 180.
No.
One and done's good. I like one and done.
Okay.
Yeah.
20,
No.
a little bit. All of
Just a
them.
check.
Did like the check.
But now he calls. Damn it. What are we gonna do?
Well,
Jack.
I'm gonna rip it.
No.
We block a lot of
He
jacks.
shouldn't have
called
many
it.
jacks and the flush draw bricks. He's gonna have,
No,
like, he doesn't hit an ace.
Once he calls a big bet on that
Exactly.
turn, you can't jam this river. You just have to
No, he's
I think
clearly got
Solver is jamming.
something.
Watch
He's
me.
got
I think
something.
Solver is
Yeah.
shooting his way out.
We got
So-
no showdown value,
Yeah.
but it's a check anyway.
That's sometimes. And the reason here is that we block queen jack and we block queen 10. Right? I think this specific combo wants to, and it's also at the bottom of our range.
Does he have to
Most
call ace
options
And we
king or
unblock
jam?
and we unblock
How's that possible?
spades.
But
Yeah,
it's
we
telling us to
unblock
check.
spades.
So does
So
he
why is
call
it
ace
telling
king?
us to check and not jam?
We had the queen nine, right? We knew
The
that.
queen nine is the one worse hand that we get 100% bluff.
So we
Then
get the
10-9,
double.
10-8, jack nine. No, jack nine.
10-8's 10-8's actually a pair.
10-9.
And Jack got there on the river. Jack 9 got there on the river.
Yeah.
So
Was
that's for
our
value.
play so bad that both options on the river is negative EV?
Yep. I saw that.
Yeah, our queen 9 and our queen 10 and our king 9 are our two worst bluffs.
We haven't got a lot of bluffs then, other than
No. Everything is a pair as a marginal made hand, or we got there with the jack. Right? Like we're almost devoid of bluffs that don't have an ace in them.
but we should have some bluffs, right? Because we had no showdown value. We should have some, surely, if we bet in the turn there.
So can you open that in the browser and show if you bet small? Because I like betting small rather than 120 there.
It said to check mostly in the end, didn't it?
Checking and betting both, even checking lost money.
Hmm.
What do you want to see on this river, James?
On the turn.
Yeah. He wants to bet small on the turn.
And now what?
It was
What do
such
we
a
do?
bad bluff on the turn that when we get to the river, we lose money when we check.
But now I think we have to. Oh. Okay.
We're only
I
going
I
for
would
it
mess
with
that up.
busted spades.
Still losing money when we check, but a little bit less.
Yeah, but we're, going for it with the spades and folding the rest.
14 no lead.
Okay.
I like betting small.
Lucky Fish never has the backdoor flush when he has small pairs.
That one sizes up a little bit for top the value before a scare card comes off. Yeah.
Bye, Lou. We gotta go. Bye, everybody.
Thanks a
Thank
lot,
you.
Andy.
Yeah, Andrea.
Hi, Andrea.
You're out.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. See ya.
Bye.
Good day.
Fold.
You want to go pick up our order or you? Oh, I thought you were done.
Ooh, he's gonna have sevens, sixes.
We might check jam if we bet small.
I agree with Ken there. Actually, you could bet. You could just check it back. I like betting small here.
I'm never checking back.
You guys seems to be too passive as the three bet, or we are gonna bet heavily.
Bet.
Yeah, this one checks the most though to trap.
Yep, but not that hand.
Then it's going to check more with that 8 of spades, blocking the flush.
I would check here.
I would check here again, yeah.
Check.
Let's
I
not
knew,
check.
I knew the 8 was coming.
Here we go. We've gotten our best value hands, and we would want to bluff.
All in.
Yeah.
No, it's hot size thing. All in is a bit
He's
of a
run
thing.
so good.
He's got his
Look at that
best value
solver.
hand.
That bastard, he just keeps doing us like that.
I don't think we're going to want to post this, the results of this one.
Well, we didn't make a mistake, so it's not going to be bad results.
We're making.
Doesn't matter if he wins or loses, it's
destroying
our
us.
mistakes.
No, but
All that
overall
money
today,
we made last time, I think we lost it now.
Yeah, our errors per hand is very high. Was it 6.5? That's horrible.
The only thing I would say is he was the free better. Now, why would he check twice there if he didn't have a monster? I think you've set us up.
Yeah, he's a
well, I mean, he could have kings there, right? And
But if we check twice, surely it goes for value on the turn, really, to build for value, surely.
no, because we still have all our aces that we're checking against his better aces,
Okay.
right? Like we still have ace 6 and ace 7 there that are just happy to get the showdown.
Right. Have we got those hands, do you think? A6, A7, calling in a free bet pot out of position. Would we have those there?
Yeah,
Okay,
we have some of them
so.
suited.
Yeah.
No, we have 10-9. We don't have 8-7, 7-6, I don't think. We don't open those. Do we?
Ace 7, ace 7.
Oh, ace.
Oh, this really sucks here. When did he just jam? So he checked jam.
He did.
I think
Check all.
Yeah. Tip it.
And look at that.
Look at that
I
call
would-
that earns
Look at him
negative EV.
overplaying.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a horrible spot to call, isn't it?
No,
I would not
it's
have
a
checked.
fine spot with top pair and a 3-bet pot. You don't really get the full top pair.
I would have never found that check raise all in with 9-9 ever.
On a
Yeah,
king
spade.
high monotone board, it's supposed to be the board we probably check the most.
He had the spade redraw.
Ooh, here comes a check jam.
Yep.
And he has aces again.
Jesus.
And it was a check, and it was a check jam.
Yeah.
Ugh.
We're going to need staking before this is over.
We don't want an overcard or a spade to roll off, so I think this is going to be a jam.
No, bet small again.
Wow.
But he coolers us again
And he called us with the ace queen.
without a spade.
How does
Do we
he?
raise here or do we just call?
I get it.
Uh,
We
he
have
has all
better
the,
kings, so I think we just call.
yeah, he has all the better kings.
Now
Now we
stop it?
can.
I would just block bet.
No.
Yeah. It's there. It's a thing.
There's block betting.
It's both.
We're gonna check a lot of king high boards.
No, that's the thing. King eye board, I think we range bet them. Queen 6-3, I think we would check heavy here.
Yeah.
Can you open
Oh, yeah,
that up?
wrong position.
So king high because we're in position. We
Yep.
we have the range advantage. We want to range bet, but queen high we don't.
Exactly.
Oh, did we find the queen high was our lower bet board, or was it his higher donk board? Did we find the queens?
If it's his higher dunk board, that means that it's our bad board, right?
No,
Not necessarily. Not
here.
necessarily.
So
We
the
didn't
queen
find
eye
that.
boards, we found out that he's check jamming a lot on.
Right, but
we
that doesn't
are
mean.
still betting them a lot.
Yeah,
But a queen eye board with 2 low cards under the 7, where's that? I wrote something about that.
it's the 2 lot cards with 7 or below that he gets to donk, that out of position gets to donk on. It's not, but that doesn't mean that we check them when checked to.
Yeah,
Yeah. And by the way, you said under the 7, it's 7 and under. The 7 was there too,
Yeah,
not under the 7.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we check,
We check.
he bets, we call or we rip, one of the two.
Ooh, he sized up.
You should never size up, I think here. Unless he has like ace king with the king of spade,
Yeah.
which is probably what he has, right?
I think he sizes up with king X of spades, king of spades, X of
Yeah.
right?
He's probably got a king of spades.
And then maybe with the nuts, he might maybe not like 4 or 5 of spades, but something like 4 or 5, he might size up.
You do it
I
with
mean,
kings
he's
as well?
supposed to bet. He's supposed to bet small on a monotone board, right? But does he bet small if he's actually got a flush here?
Yeah. He has a flush. It's good.
But
I'm not sure of our response here.
Ooh. You have no folds, Louis?
No folds.
There's no reason to raise this.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Folds more than it raises.
Yep.
We
get
colored
there.
the ace king. Yeah.
Yes.
Finally.
Can you see
deserved.
what he said? Can you look and see what he sizes up with?
Ace king with a king of spades.
King of spades, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's his best value hand with his nut flush blocker. But I wonder what he's pulling his bluffs from. Probably just the naked king of spades here.
yeah,
So, like,
probably.
Yeah, let's go
King
back.
Jack.
Go back to the root.
Just a
King
quick
jack with the
question.
king of spades.
Why do we call with ace 4 here, but we fold ace 6, ace 7, ace 8, ace 9? Has to do with we're blocking his bluffs here.
Yeah. Plus, we've got the wheel draw, right?
Yeah. We have extra equity with the wheel. And he doesn't have 4s and 5s in his range.
Why is ace 5 not in there?
All right.
Or have we lost that somewhere in the tree?
Looks like it's only ace king with the king of spade.
No, go to the root. Go to root.
We are.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So he bets. Click on the bet large. Let's see really what it is.
It's always his best top pairs, and then
his king is the bluff. King is a weird bluff with it, but it's going to be with the king of spades. Yeah.
And queen with the queen of spades as well.
Yep.
so he has a lot of value when he rises up on this board.
And when he doesn't, he has outs.
Yeah. Now my question: if he bets small, we call. We turn the queen of clubs, and then we check. He bets small again. Are we folding ever with top pair? We are sometimes, but just with one combo. So against 2 bets, we rarely ever fold top pair. But if he bets big,
Yeah, he polarizes to having the nut flush blocker. Right? Or the second nut flush blocker. Queens with the queen of spades. In position.
bet small.
Just thinking for a second if we size up on this board.
This might be a ripper.
No.
No?
It's the other end. If
There's a
there's
little sizing up. Okay, good.
Jack 10 with a little one.
Yeah, not much. Bet again.
Yeah.
Yep.
Stufflophagus.
Now stuff it. And get called by
The nuts.
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 Yeah, you know.
I hate days like that.
I think you've done the bankroll here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Rebuy table 4.
he rounded us. Check.
Get the Oreos out.
Gross range bet, I guess.
Did you guys see the video Negreanu did where he put KTB on aces for that hand?
No.
It's funny. It's a good video.
Is it old?
Yeah, it's an old one.
Oh, for the
He
girl.
got in the
It's
photo,
looking-
didn't he? Is
Yeah,
that the
just
one?
look up Negreanu rounders. It's fun. He really takes it seriously.
Cool.
Are we going to be check raising here?
I don't think so.
Let's
Oh.
think about this.
So Louis, someone
It's one of
someone
those-
just used your one big blind block bet on me.
Oh,
This is one of the worst ones, isn't it?
yeah, it
It's one
is.
of our worst flush draws. Maybe we do.
I would check raise here with the wheel, ace five, ace four. I would check call here with ace queen. My kings are all check raising. My queen.
I might check raise all in here.
No, the king is too bad for, I get, in a 3-bet pot, this king is terrible. I think we.
It's almost an ace.
We're raising half of the time.
Bit of mixing.
Maybe I was
Bit of
just totally
mixing.
wrong.
Right, so we have the good strategy for the ace size. The wheels are raising. The best ones are calling a little bit more. The king eyes, I said, we're all raising. They're all calling.
With the flush
But if-
draw. Without the flush draw, we wouldn't be, though, would we?
And
10
without the
now.
flush draw, mostly raising for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. Looks like we're betting the middle-ish part of it, not the best ones and not the worst ones.
But
This one's a
queen,
mix.
queen 9, we're jamming it looks like.
So we stuff it here?
I think so.
I would, yeah.
Or
Yeah, because we
just
might,
call
we don't
because
want, yeah, because there could be another spade roll off and freeze his action.
Yeah, his kings still have to call our jams.
It's more of a call because of SPR.
Right.
Just stick at it. Can't even see why you guys were outside.
That's small. Fold.
Actually folds a check with the nut cutter.
Yeah, he has just a gut shot and no back door, so that's a fold.
I don't see that in game. People are calling with that.
Yeah, it's a mistake for sure.
This is not a mistake.
Ooh, are we gonna?
Isn't this a check race? It's a queen high board.
Not with an open ender, it's not, is it?
So
I think we're cool in this one, right?
So some of our outs are going to be a little busy because he's going to have some aces here. I don't know that we're going to have a lot of fold equity against his range. Oops. We're definitely going to get some better stuff to
Oh,
fold.
this is definitely,
No, there's a lot of raising going on.
yeah, it was a check raise. We just went over that earlier, right? Where we had a
Queen high is better for
backdoor
for him.
and a straight.
One overcard. Yeah, I thought we had the front door flush draw last time.
He's supposed to be checking like the queens are going to be a bit tough, right? So he's going to be checking more queens. He's going to check about 20% of queens.
Now you gotta check fold when he bets.
Do you have to check fold if he bets small?
Not if he bets small, but if he bets anything more than half pot, you gotta fold.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's only got two sizes, 96 or all in here.
Oh, that was nice.
You just send it king high.
Yep.
I would never find that in game.
That jam.
On the
It
river.
like the small,
Oh,
like
I
the
love
small
that jam
bet.
on the river.
It
Not
like
a
the small
jam,
bet,
though.
right?
Wants to bet small.
Yeah, wants us to bet small.
I guess if we bet small, he's gonna fold like his ace high. Which is what we're
Even-
targeting with king 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's gonna call with ace king.
No, it's mixing,
The offsuit one is calling.
mixing. We get ace highs to fold sometimes.
He's raising us with ace 8 and ace 9.
Yeah, he's passing a bit. Ace 8 makes sense, trips.
And it's gonna work. Oh yeah,
Nine.
ace 8, of course, sorry.
The 9 blocks the straight. It blocks
Yep.
9-10.
Blocks 9-8.
I'll try this in game.
But he doesn't do it with the king 10 because it blocks our bluffs.
Hey, don't try this in game. Bet small.
Don't try bluffing ace 9 in game.
Yeah, don't
Oh,
play
ace
bluff raising it
Yeah.
against the small bet.
Yeah.